Welcome back. Well, WJZ has been following high energy costs for months amid rate hikes and drastic temperature changes. But a new report from our media partner, the Baltimore Banner, spells out a connection between BGE's rate hikes and the development of the Baltimore Peninsula. And Banner reporter Jack Bologna joins us. Thanks for being here again, Jack. Really interesting report. I urge you, it's very long and in-depth to read it. But let's talk about it here. So you go back to, I think, 2013, and talk about how BGE was interested in Kevin Plank's ideas for the peninsula. How did that develop?
Yeah, so before we started calling it Baltimore Peninsula, it was known as Port Covington, and Kevin Plank and his development company announced some very ambitious development plans for that area, including lots of skyscrapers, office space, a lot of buildings, basically a new mini city. And at that time, BGE realized that that would be a lot of power that would be needed to supply for that development. And so at least as far back as 2015, they started preparing and planning to build more infrastructure there at the Port Covington site, again, the site that we now know as Baltimore Peninsula.
And you talk about a substation and...
Yeah, so it would be a major substation right next to Baltimore Peninsula, and then across the water in the Westport neighborhood, there's also some substation activity, and then electrical infrastructure kind of to connect those things as well.
So you draw a connection between, gee, we need to develop these new things to provide power to that area, so we just raise the rates.
Well, so it's actually in BGE's own testimony to state regulators. They explain that they have to build this infrastructure in part to meet the expected demand there for this mega development. And so that testimony before state regulators is how they kind of justify some rate increases. And I should say that this is just one project, of kind of many of these kind of construction projects that overall contribute to rising bills. However, these are also many of them, BGE would say these are necessary infrastructure projects to ensure the safe and reliable delivery of electricity.
But as you state in your report, which is so interesting, I mean, we're talking 2013, this is many years later. Yeah. That development has not taken off the way it was predicted. The need is not there, at least at this moment, the way that was anticipated, and yet the rates continue to go up.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. As you said, what was envisioned 2013, 2014, 2015 changed dramatically really around 2016 when Under Armour, the company's fortunes really started to change, and they scaled back plans for their headquarters. And so that area has gone under several rebrands, and they still, they have a very long timeline on development, but where we're at right now is not where we thought we would be.
All right. Once again, thank you for coming in. This is a really interesting report. I dove right into it with great interest, and I would say to really understand this, read it. It's really good. Thank you, as always, Jack, for coming in. And to read it and other great independent reporting with our media partner, the Baltimore Banner, head to thebaltimorebanner.com.